Hey folks, my name is Theodore Abbott. I'm the news editor here at the Capilano Courier, and this is your March news update. So the first article that I'm going to talk to you about is the dual impact of ADHD medication, and this is authored by Cami Davila, one of our staff writers. The crux of this article is really all about how rates of ADHD medication prescriptions are skyrocketing. They've gone up and up and up in the last 15 years, specifically here in BC. This is a good thing in many respects because some people have ADHD and those people need to get properly prescribed medication to treat their ADHD. On the other hand, there's a lot of unregulated ADHD use, like recreational ADHD medication use, I should say. This is like people taking psychostimulants, as they're sometimes called, in order to help as a study aid or to stay up all night and cram during exam season. But yeah, check this article out. It's just all about how if you have ADHD, you can get medicated and it can change your life. Or if you don't have ADHD, but you're taking it anyways, taking medication for it anyways, this can have a pretty negative impact. It can kind of screw your brain up in a lot of ways. So check out that article. It's online, it's in print. That's the dual impact of ADHD medication. Okay, next article. I actually wrote this article. It's all about the changing media landscape here in Canada and specific to BC as well. And really what we're seeing is that folks 18 to 34 are not relying on traditional news outlets and media outlets like they were before, specifically about politics and current events. What we're seeing is a massive, massive turn towards social media. And these media outlets are having less and less impact in shaping the political discourse and the social discourse around big events in Canada, big, things like elections. Another very salient part of this article is that these traditional journalist outlets or these media outlets, they can't even operate on any meta platforms, Instagram and Facebook. The Tyee isn't allowed to have an Instagram page because of a rule in Canada, a law in Canada that requires Meta to pay these journalists and these media outlets. So that's why you can't really share news articles at all on Facebook or Instagram. So inevitably, that kind of gives the upper hand to these independent news influencers. This is kind of a double-edged sword in a way because, well, it's good that people are still getting information from somewhere. A lot of these news influencers have zero credentials as journalists, and they aren't subject to the same institutional rigor or institutional expectations that a journalist might. So if you want to learn more about this, check it out. It's called News Influencers. It's in print and online. Okay, this next piece that I'm going to talk to you about is all about layoffs at CapU. And the title of this article is CapU Layoffs Remain Invisible for Now. And the author of this piece is one of our editors-in-chief, Laura Morales. So in case you haven't been paying attention, in case you've been living under a rock, no offense, CapU is having some money problems, to put it lightly. And a product of this is that there's a lot of layoffs happening. But figuring out the extent to which these layoffs are taking place, who's getting laid off, is very complicated. And so this article dives into that. Yeah, so CapU is quietly going through a pretty significant workforce reduction as part of its deficit mitigation plan. But the way they're going about doing this is by contract non-renewals, retirement incentives, offering people attractive incentives, kind of like buyouts to retire early, as well as just layoffs. And what MoveUp is saying is essentially that the university should be cutting more management and administration positions, those high-up positions that generally have quite high salaries, instead of laying off unionized employees. And the university has a different opinion. This is an ongoing and evolving subject, and we're going to keep covering it for you as things unfold. Okay, so the last article that I'm going to update you guys about for the month of March is all about how CapU's chancellor, Yuri Fulmer, is running to be leader of the BC Conservatives. This article was authored by myself, Theodore Abbott, and Elliot J. Fisher. So first of all, who is Yuri Fulmer? What is the role of chancellor? And why is Yuri running to be leader of the BC Conservatives? More or less, Yuri is a prominent North Vancouver business person and has been chancellor of CapU since 2020. In his role of chancellor, he's supposed to, quote, represent the values of the university and the broader CapU community and throughout the Sea to Sky corridor. And it's largely a symbolic position. You're supposed to help bring in funding for the university. So the BC Conservatives are an interesting party. They're very new. They won a lot of seats in the last election, and they sort of absorbed the now defunct BC Liberals, which briefly rebranded as BC United. Why that's relevant is that under the leadership of the BC Liberals, between around 2001 to 2018, post-secondary funding in BC saw really significant cuts. And now I think a lot of students are wondering that, there might be a conflict of interest here with Yuri Fulmer, the chancellor of CapU, running to be leader of a party that very likely might continue that legacy of austerity budgeting for universities. So yeah, if you want to learn more about this article, there's definitely some juicy stuff in there, I assure you. Check it out online or in print, in the print issues around campus. So yeah, that's your news update for the month of March. My name is Theodore Abbott. I'm the news editor. And don't forget to check out the CC Crumb, which comes out mid-month, and that's our zine. See you soon, folks.